John 1:34. Et ego vidi et testimonium perhibui quia hic est filius Dei. And I have seen, and I have offered or given or borne testimony that this is the Son of God. John the Baptist is finishing up here, giving his testimony as he has seen Christ approaching. And there's a couple things just to note in this verse. First off, let's start by noting the third principal part here that you should have learned from video, videre, this second conjugation verb, which you'll see everywhere, vidi and visus. Okay, and you might think of the famous dictum of Julius Caesar. Do you know it? Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Kind of out of place in this verse, I'll admit, but hey, whatever helps you remember, right? At ego vidi, I have seen, probably we would want to translate with the present perfect tense here. So this is the perfect tense. This is first person singular, perfect active indicative. But remember, with the perfect tense, we can either be describing one completed action, simply that fact of that action in the past, and then it's over and done, or we can speak about the present result of that single past action when we're translating. And I think we want to do the latter in this case. And I have seen, and same with this verb, and I have offered or given testimony or borne witness that this is the Son of God. And this is a phrase probably you've seen before, so we won't dwell on it. One word just about quia. We haven't talked a lot about this, but in classical Latin, what you would expect here is probably the accusative and infinitive construction. And we've mentioned before that the Vulgate likes to use quia or quod or sometimes quoniam to introduce indirect statement in a way that's a little more natural for us English speakers than the typical accusative infinitive construction that you find more often in classical Latin and Latin in different genres, even in later times. But in the Vulgate, again, mimicking the Greek practice, which is often to have clauses introduced by hoti or a similar connector, we're going to use quia and quod and quoniam all over the place. Oftentimes, beginning Latin students really like the Vulgate for this reason, because it's a little bit easier for them to get used to indirect statement according to that mode, which is more like English, than to learn the accusative and infinitive construction, which requires you to stretch your mind a little bit more toward the Latin side. So look out for that as we're introducing indirect speech throughout the Gospel of John. This is a typical feature of the Vulgate, and it's a typical feature of later Latin, especially going on into the medieval era.